Scene starts in Frontera Manor, where the Dragon King is residing. Skeleton corpses are dancing and making noise to wake up the great dragon, so he doesn't forget to make a call to his wife. But Berkey's is sound asleep, and this sound is not loud enough to wake him up. Seeing this, the skeleton increases the intensity of the noise. The noise is unbearable even for the people outside of the manor. This was enough to create problem for the great dragon. Irritated by noise, he opened his eyes and a green light flashes. The light instantly annihilates all the skeletons. The gate is then opened by none other than Lloyd, the final boss. He begins singing in a shrill voice. Somehow this voice was 1,000 times more unbearable than all the skeletons combined. Dragon King finally wakes up in panic. He finds Lloyd singing in front of him. After finding him awake, Lloyd bends down and greets the dragon and asks if he is doing well. Dragon responds that he was doing fine a moment ago before Lloyd let out that shriek of a collapsing black hole. Dragon King suddenly remembers that he forgot to contact his wife yet again. This put him in a deep state of sadness and disparity. Dragon King puts the blame of not being able to contact Dragon Queen on Lloyd, as he didn't do a good job, and tries to annihilate Lloyd, but Lloyd reminds him that he tried to wake him up as promised. Contacting the Queen was something Berkey's would have to do himself. Berkey's panics and starts to think what can he do now to be saved from the anger of his wife. But Lloyd already has a plan ready. Lloyd tells him to pretend to be busy in fighting a villain from another dimension who used weird abilities and went around doing all sorts of crimes. The villain is none other than Lloyd. Dragon King thinks about it for a second, and then his eyes suddenly starts glimmering with this great idea. The great dragon praised Lloyd for this great idea, as he will even get compliments from the Queen. Lloyd tells to put a leash on him, as he would do a great job acting like a villain. Javier in the background thinks that Lloyd doesn't even need to act, as he's already a villain. Dragon King, knowing the nature of Lloyd, asks him about what he wants in return for this favor. Lloyd thanks the dragon, and asks the dragon to help him obtain Kiora, that was teleported by him in Seoul. Dragon King remembers that he indeed sent a material of truth jewel to Seoul. Dragon King tells Lloyd that he was the one who sent it there, but it has no particular location, and that's why he'll give something that'll help Lloyd finding the truth jewel. From this sleeve he takes out a toy dog which possess capability of finding everything, and it'll help Lloyd with the direction. The second tool he takes out is a magic hammer that can go anywhere. Dragon then sings a song, Go 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 to Seoul, and then throws the hammer on the ground. Suddenly a portal appeared in front of them. Lloyd is disappointed seeing that, but Javier tells him to suck it up. Anyways, protagonist steps in the dimension tunnel, and then both Lloyd and Javier steps on it. As they're entering, Dragon tells him that it's a two-way portal, which means they can come back to this world if they step on the portal in Seoul. As they were finally about to enter, Dragon King asks Lloyd if his hometown is Seoul, which confuses Lloyd, promoting him to ask the dragon to repeat himself. Dragon tells Lloyd that his original body might be sleeping in that world, and tells him to not go looking for it, because if they two got close to each other, an error might occur destroying both the bodies. In a strange dark street, a green portal appears, from which Lloyd and Javier come out. Javier thinks to himself that it's the hometown of original Lloyd, and what if Lloyd chooses to stay here and not go back? Then Javier will bring Kim back to their world, even if he needs to use forcible measures. Javier feels something strange as his mana is completely gone, and he wonders if he cannot use his mana in this world. Javier looks at Lloyd, and Lloyd tells Javier to follow him. Javier thinks that it's not good for his mana to be gone, as it can create problems if they get in trouble. They come out of that isolated street, and Javier is amazed to see the bustling city of Korea with huge buildings and vehicles. Suddenly he is welcomed with strange polluted air, which is as bad as the air of hell. Lloyd tells him to follow, as they need to get new clothes, otherwise they'll stand out too much from the crowd with those clothes. On their way, Javier informs Lloyd about his disappeared mana, and asks him what if something dangerous happens. Lloyd tells him not to worry as nothing of that sort will happen here. Javier looks at him with surprise, but for the first time Lloyd is sweating in fear. The final core material, which is shaped like a cube, is called Kiora. It's the most fascinating core material, as it can change its appearance to hide itself in the surroundings. And currently, it has hidden its appearance and is somewhere in Seoul. Both Javier and Lloyd are dressed as normal self, which can be a problem in City of Seoul. So Lloyd steals some cloth from a green machine. Lloyd looks at the cloth and says that those smelly clothes can be used for some time to hide their identity. Javier thinks about how Lloyd wasn't feeling well just a moment ago, and how is he all right now? But suddenly they are caught by a policeman who saw Lloyd stealing clothes. The cop asks them to put down the cloth they have stolen immediately. Lloyd clicks his tongue and asks Javier why he did not keep an eye on the surroundings, and Javier apologizes. Cop asks both of them about their identity, and wonders if they're foreigners or cosplayers because of how they look, and asks them to come to the police station. Lloyd begins to lie, and tells that he's just an employee from a collection organization, but the police isn't buying it, as why would an employee be cosplaying and rummaging through clothes? Police ask Lloyd if he should call the organization to verify his claim. Finding all his tactics have failed, Lloyd decides to bribe the police with a few gold ingots. The policeman was shocked to see so much gold. Lloyd suggests the policeman treat himself with some cool ice cream and tea. But policeman was a tough guy to bribe, as he takes out handcuff and decides to arrest Lloyd for bribery and calls Lloyd an ugly cosplayer. Lloyd, finding his tactic has failed, throws the gold, which leads to diversion of attention of the policeman. In that small span of time, Lloyd and Javier run for their life. Lloyd can't believe that even in this world he's still being called ugly. Policeman first choose the gold, as he's completely overtaken by greed, but suddenly he feels guilty for getting greedy and forgetting his duty as a policeman. His sense of justice has been deeply wounded by this act, and he makes a firm decision to put Lloyd and Javier behind prison. And in his mind, he tells ugly and a handsome cosplayer to better prepare. A policeman notices Lloyd and immediately recognizes him as the ugly cosplayer who has been on the run. Lloyd, after hearing that, is mad at the police for recognizing him as an ugly cosplayer. They somehow outrun them, only to be recognized by another policeman as an ugly cosplayer. Lloyd is shocked because police couldn't see his face this time, but police says that the back of head looks ugly. They somehow run away to safety and hide themselves. Javier asks Lloyd if he could not bring some clothes with that gold, but Lloyd explains that this place accepts cash, and to verify gold authenticity it takes a long time. Lloyd decides to go back to Dimension Teleportation Circle to sort out items he brought, and decides to make a move only at night. Javier suddenly notices Lloyd completely sweating. Javier, after looking at his condition, thinks that Lloyd, even without his mana, he has a good stamina, and asks if Lloyd is feeling unwell. Lloyd makes an excuse and blames it all on the filthy air of the place, and tells Javier to change the clothes. Javier could just stare at him in silence. Scene shifts to nighttime. The magical dog given by Berkey's begins to point toward the direction of last core material. Javier and Lloyd begins to walk towards the direction of the last core material. Suddenly, Lloyd notices infamous Namsan Tower. Lloyd wonders if he has to take the entire tower with himself. But suddenly they are noticed by a policeman who identifies Lloyd with his ugly head. Lloyd and Javier immediately begin to run. Lloyd tells Javier to walk the path of mountains, as they cannot walk on the normal path because of fear of getting caught again. Javier wonders how much more Lloyd has to cover his head to hide his ugliness. After running for a long distance, Lloyd is already tired. Javier asks Lloyd if he is alright and if he wants to rest, but Lloyd denies. Lloyd says that someone like him can never get tired, but in the end he gives up and apologizes as his bluffs have ran out. Javier says that he already knew his heart was unwell. Lloyd asks if he's pathetic for that, but Javier says that he just didn't look normal after he came into this world. Lloyd immediately stops him and tells him that this is what's normal, and this is how Lloyd lives when he was in this world. He continues and tells that he was fine when he was with his parents, but after both of them passed away, Lloyd's condition got worse, and since it's been a long time he has been here, he's not used to this pain. When Lloyd went into the world of Javier, he completely forgot how he was, and became confident, forgetting his reality. Lloyd says that he's a nobody who has no one, and whose heart is ill. Lloyd reveals that his parents unalived themselves when they got scammed out of huge money. But people still criticize them for being irresponsible and leaving their son, aka Lloyd, behind. But people didn't know Lloyd had a very serious and scary injury. Lloyd's parents were incredible, that's why he couldn't stop moving to show people. He did everything, studied and worked. He needed to live a proper life to become proof that his parents had lived the right way. Javier tells Lloyd that he's not wrong and asks who put all those responsibilities on him. Lloyd revels that it was himself who did that, and if he didn't do that, he would have been nothing. Javier turns around and says that Lloyd is same person for him regardless where he is. Whether Lloyd makes mess with ugly face of cries, he's a person who see his responsibility through, which is respectable. This gives hope and motivation to Lloyd and tells Javier that he should be the one to lead the way. Javier looks behind and smiles at this.